Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett, and today I'm going to get into a Q&A video, and this one's going to get into this particular one, and it's basically the person's getting or going to get a Networking Plus and a CCNA certification, but they're looking into getting into program or security instead, and if I got any advice. And it's pretty important that I actually asked them this before I made this video. More so in the second part, if a company told them to get a Networking Plus or CCNA, and from their answer, I'm pretty much getting a no. So with that, real quick with the security, because that was a part of the question, I'm going to tell you, since this is going to be the easiest one to answer, is don't aim for cybersecurity. What you want to do is learn as much as possible about cybersecurity, but don't actually aim for getting a job into it. It's probably not going to happen. And the reason why is simply that, one, you will need a lot of experience into it. You basically need to have a security clearance and a few other things. But the biggest thing is there's not a need for too many of them. You probably, what do you got? A company with maybe thousand, and you might have one security person, one pen tester that's contracted to do testing on their systems. At best, you might have maybe a group of 3 to 5, and that's at best. So realistically, you're not going to get a job as a pen tester. There just is simply no need for it. The fact is with security, how it works is, and this is why it's important to study it, is when you get into coding, system admin, stuff like that, networking engineering and stuff like that, then if you did it right, your stuff tends to be as secure as it can be. If you're doing it wrong, I say, for example, if you are not thinking about security first when you're coding, if you're not thinking about security first when you're doing network engineer, especially network engineer, system admin, stuff like that, then you're doing it wrong, and you're going to have holes, or you're probably going to have holes, and that causes problems into itself. So the biggest thing is why you want to study security is to make sure your systems are stable, they're secure, you keep your job. That's a big thing, is if someone hacks in, you're probably going to lose your job, if not go to jail yourself, or have to deal with being blacklisted. And yes, I know it's illegal in the United States to blacklist people, but guess what? It happens. Blackballing people, it happens. So with that being said, that's a huge thing, is you need to study security so you can keep a job. Now, getting a job, if you really want to go down that path, go through the military, and that's going to be the best bet. If you're in the United States, go through the military and try to go through their cybersecurity area. Then you're probably going to be stuck somewhere in DC or something like that, and have to pay maybe like a 5-6 times more than someone who lives in a normal place. So yeah, deal with that. I mean, it's really not as good as you may think it is. Now, as far as the other parts, figured I might as well get it out of the way since it's the easiest. The next part is that I want to touch on is the Network Plus exam and the CCNA. So the CCNA is, for those of you who don't know, is Cisco's first certification. This is worthless for the most part. It really won't set you apart from anyone else. If you go for a CCNP, CCNA is a base level, CCNP is above that, and then you go beyond that to CCNE. Well, CCNA, it's worthless. It's basically like a high school diploma at this point. Most on there, besides things like OSI models, besides things like that, which you can research fairly easily online, The fact is that's all it's going to prove, that you know terminology. That's all CCNA really proves, and also maybe a little bit more than that, obviously, but that's really it. A CCNP proves that you know a little bit more about the network engineering, and then CCIE, it knows that you're an absolute expert into it. Now, the problem with, I just mentioned real quick while I'm on the topic, CCIE, the one problem that you will find with it is you become unemployable because many companies think that they will have to pay out of both ends just to keep you around. And in fact, I ran into that problem personally when the job market sucked, and still sucks today, but the job market sucked when the manned space flight went away. I had an aerospace background, NASA background, yada yada, and just trying to get a manufacturing job. A lot of companies said, "Well, we can't afford you." I'm like, dude, I don't care as long as I can like keep money in my pocket and pay for the gas and wear and tear on the car coming here. I'm good. It's better than what I'm getting now. I mean, a lot of these companies they won't hire you because you look to be too expensive, so to speak, and you actually have to dumb down your resume. Literally, you have to dumb down your resume, take things off of it, that accomplishments and stuff like that, simply just to get a job. And that's the negative thing about CCNE is it's so prestigious in many circles that it's a pain to get jobs. Basically, they're expecting to hire you at $150,000, something around to that. It's less in some places, 100,000 in some places, but some places can only afford $60,000, $70,000, or some places can only afford 40,000, and you might only be aiming for $40,000, $50,000. In a lot of companies won't even bother interviewing you, or they might literally, and I personally been asked this with the NASA stuff and the manufacturing, is why are you applying to this? This is well below your pay level. And a lot of these places just don't understand. It's like, well, there might not be any jobs, or you prefer to have something closer to where you live, or to, I don't know, someone, and that way you can actually do whatever. So with that, that's a big thing that you got to realize. There is limitations that can happen, and that's why I asked if a company asked them. Not this is more reason why I asked more on this level is because if a company doesn't ask for a Net Plus or a CCNA, don't get it. Even more so, if really any certification, if a company doesn't ask for it, don't get it. You're just wasting your time unless you can get it for free. I mentioned it several times in my past videos. This person probably didn't see it, probably knew a few or whatever. But with that being said, if you go too far, you also have the other effect, which I just talked about, where you're looked at being too expensive. This Network Plus, A Plus, CCNA, things like that. Network Plus will do you well if you have experience and you're going for a government position, depending on cybersecurity, like if you work in the Army or something like that. But unless if a company requires it, it's looked at more than less a high school thing, like terminologies and things like that. Plus CCNA, Security Plus. That's what. Sorry about that. What I was thinking about Security Plus. Security Plus will. It's Pentagon. Sorry about that. Not Network Plus. But even the Security Plus, even though it's not listed, it's considered to many that, hey, what is a phishing technique? I mean, seriously, basic crap like that. What is DDoS? What is a roll cage? What is whatever? That's what literally the questions that's asked on Security Plus. It gets a little bit more advanced than that, but it's basically terminologies. and it's just BS around, unless if you're going to be working in a government, which you're going to be using terminologies all the time. So, with that, and even if you're in government, I'll say don't get it unless if a superior tells you to get it, or if you ask around and it turns out it is actually valuable. But you need to ask around, and if everybody's like, yes, okay, it might do something, it might. If they say might, it probably won't. So unless they say, yeah, it actually does something, then, if they say it does something, then treat it as, something worth the while. But if it might, or, anything less, then it's not even worth it. So, as far as did they ever make a program before, this is a big advice I'll give to anyone who's wanting to go into programming is, I have a bunch of videos between Android, Python, and a few others. And I got an entire coding channel, by the way, now. But I have entire videos on how to set up the stuff to start programming, how to program, and to make basic applications and some advanced. Well, and like Python, we're in the basic level right now, still building up to the point where we're going to go advanced. We're going to go advanced pretty shortly. Well, the thing is you said that, I am thinking about getting into programming. That's great and all, but if you hadn't tried it, then really that means nothing to me. You need to at least try coding, even though it's not reflective as far as the workplace. If you cannot stand coding just for yourself, even watching some basic videos, even just doing some basic stuff, what makes you think that you can actually stand actually doing the stuff in a workplace where you got deadlines, where you got this, where you got that? If you cannot stand it, not so much that I don't have ideas on what to make a program, but while you're learning, and you got people like me who's actually telling you, here, make this exact thing. We're gonna go line to line, just make it, and sometimes here is the code, so you can actually learn line by line. If you can't even stand to do that, not saying that this person can't, but if you can't, then what makes you think you can actually be well off in the workplace for coding goes? And it's really the same thing as far as any career field. If you can't stand being around like animals being hurt and whatnot, what do you think happens at a vet? So why would you think that you can be a vet tech or a veterinarian, or a doctor being with humans or whatever? It's just one of those things that you gotta to know you can do the basics, or even be around the basics of, I can actually code something for a little while, and if I can't stand that, then it's whatever. So as far as that goes, hopefully this has answered some questions and whatever. But like I said, I mean the person, it looks like they're starting out in the world and whatever, so it's not too bad, and hopefully this reaches them before they get to the taking that. And you might be saying, and you might do it anyways because a school told you to get a Network Plus or CCNA, and I would say don't, because you're wasting your money. Unless if the school has given it to you for free, then don't take it. Simple as that. If a school is giving it to you for free, then go ahead and take it. But if you cannot take it for free, then don't take it until a company says, we only hire people with blah, or in order to get this promotion you need blah, or we would like for you to get blah. Until one of those things happen, do not take any certifications. I have at least, and this is getting a little bit long, but I have at least about 15, 16, maybe even up to 20 certifications. When I was doing aerospace, I got certifications in scaffolding, metallurgy. I got certifications into fire equipment. I got certifications into OSHA stuff. I got certifications into plenty of other things, into NDT and non-destructive testing and stuff like that. In going through manufacturing jobs, pretty much none of them. In fact, none of them actually cared about that. None of that helped me get a job. All of that, like, I got a lot of that for free, but even still, none of that was useful getting any position. Even when going out to NASA and stuff, it was nice to have, especially like scaffolding and stuff because of the nature of the work. But even there, it did not really matter. Besides the NDT, NDT was pretty big out there if you're in QA and stuff, quality assurance. But other than that, it's not. It's don't bother paying for a certification unless if a company tells you to. And really then you need to have the company pay for it unless you're trying to get a job. So as far as that goes, just note that, and note that studying it versus taking it is two different things. So note that, but hopefully this will help some people out, and see you in the next video. I hope you have a great day. Leave a like, subscribe, share, leave comments and whatnot.